All right, 7th grade, let's do some subtracting of integers. This is page 285, and I'm trying to remember, I think we may have done a little bit of this in 6th grade, but this is has some interesting little concepts that I have kind of made up. So maybe, I can't remember if we've talked about it or not, but I know my 8th graders have, but I'm not sure about you guys. So let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean. First off, the vocabulary is opposites. And again, opposites were like what we did in the last lesson, -3 and +3. They're the same distance from 0. Okay, but on opposite sides. All right, so key concept, you guys need to write this down. Subtracting integers. Well, I'll tell you, in words, subtracting integers, it says to subtract an integer, you add its opposite. Okay, you add the opposite. So let me show you what that means. If you are doing 5 minus 7, and I'll tell you, I made up this little thing right here. I'm going to tell you what this is. It's not in the book. I made this up because when I was a kid, my teachers were trying to teach this to me, and I couldn't understand. I was like, 5 minus 7, 5, take away 7. I could see it on a number line. Okay, a number line, you would go, you're at 5. Here's 0, and you went over here to 5, so you trucked on over to 5. And then minus 7 tells you would take away 7, and you would end up back here at -2. So I could see it on a number line, but I couldn't draw a number line for every single problem. So I started to hear the rule, add the opposite, add the opposite, add the opposite. And so I'm pounding on the desk when you hear that, and I started to go, in my head, I started to hear, add the opposite. So I was saying, boom, boom. And it just stuck in my head, and I kept doing it. So I incorporated, to remember this rule right here, I remember boom, boom. The first boom is to change the subtraction problem to an addition problem. The second boom is to make the second number its opposite. So if it's 3, make it -3. If it's -3, make it +3. Okay, so the first thing I do is I read through and I read and I say if it's friendly, I just do it. For example, if I ask you what is 3 minus 1, you would just say 2. That's easy. That one's friendly. But some subtraction problems to me are unfriendly. So when they're unfriendly, we are going to boom, boom them. Okay? So I go through and I'm like 5 minus 7. Okay? Now, here's one thing about this rule is you never, never, ever, ever, ever do anything to the first number. The first number always stays the same. So you 5 minus 7. As soon as you say minus, that's your key to start boom, boom. So you're going to change it to addition, which makes it a plus. And then this is a 7. It's just a +7. So you would boom, boom. It's always a two-step process. 5 minus 7, you go boom, boom. And then you go back to the rules we just learned, and you add. 5 plus -7, they're different signs, so you get 2, and they're more negative, so it's -2, which is what we came up with up there. Okay? So let's do, they have an algebra one. Let me do the algebra. It would be A minus B, so you would add the opposite. Boom, boom. Okay, now some people resist boom, boom. They don't like to do it because they just think it's stupid, and I feel a lot of kids will miss it. I'm like, you should boom, boom. It's just boom, boom. Add the opposite. Add the opposite. And if you hear it, you know you can hear it in your head. Add the opposite. So let's take a look at some examples. 2 minus 7. To me, that's unfriendly. So addition to me is so much more friendly. So I'm going to go 2 minus 7. I'm going to go boom, boom. So 2 minus 7, now it's 2 plus -7. So I subtract. 7 minus 2 is 5 because the signs are different and there's more negatives. Okay, so let's look at it on a number line. You would go to 2, and then you would take off 7, which would put you over here at -5. You take off 7. Okay, and the reason why I developed boom, I think of boom boom is because I can't do that for every number. I can't make a number line and I can't always understand it, and it gets really confusing when we get more negatives in there. Add the opposite. So this one right here to me was really unfriendly. 12 minus negative 9. So we're subtracting, so we add the opposite. So we go 12 minus, as soon as I say minus, I go what? Boom, boom. So I'm going to go boom and make this the opposite of what it is. It's negative 9. I'm going to make it positive 9. So that comes out to be 21. So 12 minus negative 9 is 21. And remember, technically in math, when you put two negatives together, they make a positive anyway. Okay? And then 21. So this one again, negative 3. Remember, it's important you never ever do anything with the first number, so you leave it alone. You start boom booming when you say minus. So negative 3 minus, so you'd go boom, boom. So positive 5 and a negative 3, you're adding different signs, so you subtract, you get 2, and there's more positives, so it's positive 2. Adding the opposite. So 4 minus 6, we'd go boom, boom. Now we're adding, so you subtract, and there's more negatives. The answer is negative 2. Negative 7, you never do anything with the first number. Boom, boom. That would be 1. 8 minus 7, and there's more positives. Positive 1. Negative 2, never do anything with the first number. Minus, so we're going to go boom, boom. So negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3. 15 minus negative 3, so boom, boom. They end up both to be positive, so it's 18. It just makes it easier. Let's practice it. Okay, example number 2. The highest point in Asia is Mount Everest at 8,850 meters. The shore of the Dead Sea, the lowest point in Asia, is about 410 meters below sea level. What is the difference between these elevations? So difference is a subtraction problem. So it's 8,850 minus negative 410 because it's below sea level. We'll put parentheses in there to separate the sign. So I'm going to go boom, boom. So we end up adding those. 0, 6, 12, carry the 1. 9,260 meters. And if we do a picture, here's sea level, right here. Here's Mount Everest, right here, which is 8,850. And the Dead Sea is below sea level, 410. So we want to know what's the distance from here to here. So it's 410 to here, to there, and another 8,850. So you would just add them. I don't know if they made a better picture than what I did. And then there's the difference. Okay, well, they did the same thing I did. Okay. In Deerfield, Montana, on December 24th, 1924, the air temperature dropped a record amount. At noon, the temperature was 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that's pretty warm on December 24th. 12 hours later, the temperature was negative 21 degrees Fahrenheit. What was the change in temperature? So it went from 63 to negative 21. So the change in temperature is what's the difference of the two temperatures? So you'd go boom, boom. That would be an 85 degree difference. Wow. Talk about night and day. And I think we'll end up with the same. They put that way. How did I get 85? Did I say 85? 63 and 21 is not 85. Ay, ay, ay. 84. Need to go back to school. Still, 85, 84, that's a big drop in temperature. Wow. You'd be wearing your shorts out enjoying the sun, and then next day you'd be looking for your long underwear. All right, guided practice number 5. It says, find the difference between the elevation of 535 feet above sea level and an elevation of 8 feet below sea level. So the difference is a subtraction problem, so you're just going to subtract them. 535 feet above is positive, minus 8 feet below, which is negative. We would boom those, so we end up just adding. So it'll be 543 feet. There we go. And then temperature, the temperature at 6 a.m. was negative 12 degrees. At 3 p.m. the temperature was 32 degrees. What was the change in temperature? So it went from, changes, subtract, negative 12 minus 32. It went up. Be boom, that's negative 44, but it didn't go down, so it's going to be positive 44, I believe. I wonder if that temperature, did I get negative? I'm going to go back to that temperature problem because we need to think about, where's that at? Oh, I'm going crazy. Sorry. Let's go back to that temperature. We need to think about negatives and positives in temperature. If the temperature dropped, it went down, we need to indicate that with a negative, so that's going to be negative 84 degrees. Even though I didn't write it that way, I need to think about the problem and notice that the temperature dropped, so that would be in negative. So on this example, the temperature went up, so it would be positive 44 degrees. So I'll just keep the signs, but then I just need to analyze the problem. All right? So boom, if you don't understand, please ask. It's very important. And the nice thing on your skill sheets is you can just boom, right on those. You don't have to write the original problem again. Just boom, right on your skill sheets. And then keep that in mind for when you ever see a subtraction problem. It will help to remember it. And that's it. We'll see you next time.